Hello and welcome to my channel. Myself, Shalini Singh, researcher, educator, former assistant professor in the field of electronics and communication and VLSI design. We have already discussed National Education Policy 2020 for the school education in previous video. So today we will focus on National Education Policy for higher education or for college goers or students. Now, here are the highlights and key points of National Education Policy 2020 for higher education. Multiple exit options, academic bank of credit, national testing agency, no affiliations with universities, cap on college fees, international exposures, single body for entire higher education, National Institute for Preservation of Languages, and multidisciplinary institutions. First is the multiple exit options. Under National Education Policy 2020, undergraduation will either be of 3 years or 4-year duration, with multiple exit options within this period. That is, there will be no more dropouts. How we will understand now. Colleges will have to give a certificate under completion of 1 year in any discipline or field, including vocational and professional areas. So here also you can observe that a significant importance is given to vocational courses. Diploma after 2 years of study, bachelor degree after 3 years of program, and a bachelor degree with research after 4th year. Next comes the academic bank of credit. As you know, what's the use of bank? Bank's main purpose is to store money safely. So here, academic bank of credit will be used to store credits earned from different higher educations courses. For example, from diagram, let us try to understand. Now here the branches shows a different particular higher course. Now for example, you do a particular course, that is one of any stream, and because of some reason you have to leave it in between. So what will happen to your credit? So according to New Education Policy 2020, your credit this time will not go wasted. This will be added to the present and further courses for the final credit. For example, you do another courses 2 or 3. So for final degree, all the credits of 1, 2 and 3 will be combined and stored in academic bank digitally for your final degree. So this will allow students who have to drop out of their courses due to unavoidable circumstances to resume their program at a later time from where they left it, rather than having to start over from beginning of course. As we all know that 90% of jobs are not available to the dropouts. So, like we have observed, according to the National Education Policy 2020, none of the student will be empty-handed. For example, if a student covers 1 year of course, he will be provided with a certificate and a diploma for 2 years and a bachelor degree for 3 years, so that you can show in your job profile. Next comes the national testing agencies. National testing agencies will conduct a common college entrance exam twice every year. That is, in 1 year, 2 times, so that none of your years get wasted. No affiliations to universities over next 15 years. We have seen many colleges affiliated to one institutions, and because of that they are bounded to run the universities, or you can say colleges, curriculum according to their norms and conditions. Now colleges will be given graded autonomy to give the degrees. These institutions will be given the status of deemed to be universities. Public and private higher education will be governed by same set of norms for regulations, accreditations and academic standards. So due to this, there will be no partialities, or you can say differentiations among different colleges. Next is cap on college fees. This is the main agendas for the students studying in private institutions. So National Education Policy 2020 suggests a cap on fee charged by private institutions of higher education. Next is the international exposure. By international exposure, we mean that top-rated global universities will be facilitated to come to India. Similarly, top Indian institutions will be encouraged to go global. So, top performing Indian universities will be encouraged to set up campuses in other countries. Next is a single body for entire higher education. Now here HECI stands for Higher Education Commission of India, and that will be set up as a single body for entire higher education. That is, it will act as an umbrella for entire higher education, exempting medical and legal education. So, there will be no separate UGC or AICTE or NCTE. That means UGC, University Grant Commission, NCTE, National Council of Technical Education, and AICTE, that is All India Council for Technical Education, will be covered and governed by a single body, that is Higher Education Commission of India. Next is multidisciplinary institutions. Here, IITs will be the multidisciplinary institutions opening doors for various humanities and arts students. Here, multidisciplinary institution means institutions that offers undergraduate and graduate program with high quality teaching, research and community engagement. Next is preservation of languages. National Institute for Pali, Persian and Prakrit languages will be instituted. To ensure the preservation of all Indian languages, National Education Policy 2020 recommends setting up an Indian Institute of Translation and Interpretation, National Institute for Pali, Persian and Prakrit, and strengthening of Sanskrit and all other languages department in higher education. Next is the general knowledge facts related to National Education Policy 2020 for higher education, and these may be very useful for the students preparing for different competitive examinations. Let us see one by one. National Education Policy 2020 will replace the 34-year-old National Policy on Education, that is NPE 1986, and is the first education policy of the 21st century. Now here the observing thing is that in 1986 this policy was termed as National Policy on Education rather than National Education Policy. Second is National Education Policy 2020 is approved by Union Cabinet chaired by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. A committee for the draft National Education Policy was constituted in June 2017 under the chairmanship of eminent scientist Dr. K. Kasturi Rangan, which submitted the draft National Education Policy 2019 to the Honorable Human Resource Development Minister on 31st May 2019. According to the National Education Policy 2020, gross enrollment ratio in higher education to be raised to 50% by 2035. Thank you so much for listening with patience, and hope this video be very useful and informative for you. Thank you.